Vipers. That sure is a spooky gravestone. This is why you vaccinate your kids. It's science. It works.
Journey to the Savage Planet it's good. It's pretty good. It's not great. It's not amazing, but it's not bad. It's good though. Currently, I'm about 5 hours into it, and the game, according to the developers, lasts right around 8 to 10 hours, and I feel like I'm getting pretty close to wrapping up the game as a whole. I am playing it on the Xbox One X, and so far it's been a fairly enjoyable experience. Quick rundown of the story is you are a space explorer for the fourth best space exploration company, and you are sent to this planet to observe, record, and report back with all your findings to see if this planet is a good fit for humans to settle in. Upon arriving, you discover there are alien artifacts. And all of a sudden, now the thoughts of, just scan some plants and some animals, give us the info back, turns into, okay, let's find out about these aliens. The game in a nutshell is basically if you took No Man's Sky, put it on a single map and not the whole open world experience, and gave it a pinpoint structure to its storyline. You're going to be scanning things, you're going to be collecting items, and you're going to be building additional upgrades. And that's the extent of the game for the most part. Overall, you're going to be going around, finding new plants, you scan them, you collect information. Find new enemies, you're going to scan them, collect information. You're going to kill them, collect their stuff, and go back for upgrades. And the whole world itself is fairly easily laid out with a lot of ups, downs, and arounds, a lot of hidden areas for you to explore, and overall, a good-looking planet. Now, while there's no real true enemies in the game, there are a bunch of animals and creatures around. Everything from the puffer birds to a couple different shock types, poison types, flying, you name it, you'll probably see it. One thing to note, however, is the amount of kind of a copy-paste concept to the creatures themselves. The puffer birds, you're going to see right out the gate as soon as you land, and they're docile creatures, but then you're going to see other variants of those, from fire to poison. It kind of varies from there, but they're all a variation of each other, which is all right. I would have wished for a little bit more diversity when it came to the creatures themselves, but overall, it works well enough. The world itself looks great. It functions fairly well. One thing to note, however, is the map. There is no real map. There's kind of a compass that points you into a direction. It can get easily confusing, and you will get lost from time to time, especially with the amount of different things going on. Sometimes some areas require you to have certain items, like a jetpack or a grappling hook, and then you'll get to come back to those areas as time progresses. Now, most of the dialogue in the game is delivered two different fashions. One is your sassy AI counterpart aboard the ship.
Eat it! I like these things. Eat another one.
And the other one is through transmissions and commercials that play on your TV when you get back. The commercials themselves are hilarious, funny, cringy, and just disturbing some points, but they're funny enough to watch.
Chat with the most seductive soft bodies in space for a discreet and nebulous encounter. No bones about it. Call 1-900-BLOB-LOVE.
And the voice acting in the game is really solid. Now, as you go through the world itself, you're going to find these upgrade spots. Basically, you collect enough of them, it upgrades your health and your stamina. And there's 100 of these scattered throughout the map, so you can really max out your health and stamina. However, where I'm at in the game, I've gotten maybe, I think I'm about 30s on the collecting, and my health has been fine for the most part. However, if you happen to die in this game, the great thing is you just get 3D printed back aboard your ship. All your stuff drops where it's at, and you can easily go back to where you are, find your stuff, and even your body, and give yourself a proper burial. Now, as you keep progressing, you collecting data, collecting items, you will be using those for your upgrades for additional gear, as I spoke before, and every time you go back to the ship, if anything you have on you automatically gets deposited aboard, so you don't have to worry about losing it or all of a sudden not having enough of something. It allows you to easily go out and farm for carbon, silicon, and aluminum, which are your three materials that you're mainly going to be looking for. On top of that, you will find certain areas that have alien artifacts in them that you'll use for upgrades as well. As I spoke earlier, I'm about 5 hours into the game, and I did have a situation that my game actually not only froze up and locked, shut itself down, but it actually shut down my whole Xbox One X. And when it finally turned back on, it talked about overheating, and that really surprised me and it worried me. I was at a situation that I was just playing the game. Nothing seemed out of the normal, but all of a sudden the whole system, just locked up, turned it off my whole system, and I had to turn it all back on. And after that happened, I was unable to craft some things. I had to shut down the game fully again a second time, reload in, and then all of a sudden I was dead somewhere else and I had to go retrieve my stuff. Altogether, I probably used about 10 minutes of my time trying to get back to a situation that was a normal because it was starting to crash on itself almost. Not sure what's up with that, and hopefully no other consoles are experiencing it. But yeah, on the Xbox One X, one huge crash. Now the game itself I feel is priced at a solid $30. It's a good weekend game. You're going to be able to come here, play it, have fun, have some good laughs. The humor's solid in it. Unfortunately, I feel like it's going to be easily forgotten or just skipped altogether. Being that it's kind of got a stigma on it of a No Man's Sky. You have this first-person adventure game on a planet that you're collecting stuff. And if that's all you're comparing, it sounds just like No Man's Sky. However, I feel like the color palette, the poppy colors, the humor, and even the creatures, while there's not a lot of diversity to them, are all solid. And the game itself is pretty good at $30. So, again, if you're looking for a good weekend game, especially with all the delays going on right now for the next-gen titles, it's worth at least a playthrough. So that wraps up my first impressions for Journey to the Savage Planet. If you're interested in some gameplay footage, click the link to your left. That'll take you to a running playlist of no commentary content for it. And if you like what you see and you want to see more, click the link to your right. That'll take you to the channel itself, where we have tons of videos going on over there. And until next time, you guys, stay frosty.